If you're using Metro 2 coding for disputing and you want to be real specific and strategic with it, you are not going to want to miss this. So stay tuned until the end. Okay, so I thought I'd go ahead and come on to do a fairly short teaching on some Metro 2 codes and a better way to dispute using the Metro 2 codes. So it's going to be a short, deep dive into some underlying codes that you may not know or may not know how to dispute with them. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing that I want to show you is kind of geared toward late or missed payments and the coding behind it. Okay, so never mind the first three columns that you see. That's a whole nother video. Right now I just want to focus on the late payments that I know that if you have late payments, you're like, oh my God, how do I get these late payments off my credit report? Okay, so your payment history is going to be technically under your account status. So your account status, the Metro 2 field code for that is 17A, and you'll see that here. Now, the deeper dive into what's under Metro 2 field code 17A is this. So if you are 0 to 29 days past due, the Metro field code for that is 11. And 30 to 59 days is Metro 2 code 71. 60 to 89 days is Metro 2 code 78. And so on and so forth. 120 to 149 is Metro 2 code 82. And then you have 83. 97, code 97 is for charge off. So for instance, if you were disputing a charge off, I would call the charge off like basically, okay, so let me see how I can break this down. If you are disputing a charged off account, on your dispute letter, everywhere where you would normally put the word charge off, when you're disputing using Metro 2, you would replace that charge off word with code 97. Got it? Okay. So I'm cooking, I'm going somewhere here now. Okay, so paid charge off, that code is going to be 64. Now, I know that you've heard me say plenty of times I would rather dispute a paid or settled for less charge off than an unpaid charge off because it's easier to get them to update how they're reporting it, like in the payment status, the account status, and the comments to kind of get that stuff correct or reporting the way you want it to so that your account never looks negative at all that way versus to get a deletion. Now, so if you're disputing a paid charge off, you're going to say, hey, field 64 is inaccurate. And that would be in the account status. It's going to say collection / charge off or just charge off. Nowadays it's collection / charge off. So we know it's not a collection because you paid it. Even though you settled it, it's still paid. All right, so that's code 64. And you want to use your codes as much as possible. Replace all names with codes. So that's very important. So keep that in mind when you're disputing using Metro 2. Trust me, it will help you out greatly. Okay, so the next quick thing that I wanted to go over with you guys is the header records. So the header records are going to be somewhat of, let's say, the titles or like the data furnisher's name and things like that, or the creditor's name. That will be considered like in the header record area. Now, these are the field codes down the purple lane here. Record descriptor word, you will see RDWs, sometimes. Okay, so where you see the column in the required fields side, and you see Y, that stands for yes, it is required, okay? That's pretty much all that you're gonna need to know for what I am actually teaching today. So keep an eye on the required field. So mainly with Metro 2, you're not gonna use much of the header record. The main thing that I use when I'm disputing with the header record is the reporter name, which is header record field 12. You see that? So if they have the creditor's name misspelled, or if it's the wrong creditor, things of that nature, so if there's any discrepancies there, or sometimes if you've seen a credit report ever, but they do this a lot with collections, it'll be like an account number there, but no name beside it, and you're like, who is this? You have no idea who's saying you owe them money because there's no name there. So you want to call them on header record character format 12. It's missing. It cannot be missing, okay? All right, so next thing I want to talk about real quick is BAS segment character formatting. Okay, so in this section, this is going to be the main fields that you're going to be disputing using the Metro 2 compliance disputing strategy. So I took the liberty of going through all of the required and not required or required when applicable points there, and I separated what's required from what's only required when applicable, because only required when applicable doesn't help you out very much. Usually if it's a field that's only required when applicable, I'll use the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws when disputing that, because you don't really get very far using Metro 2 on fields that aren't technically required, okay? Just so you don't waste your time, take it from me. But of course, you know, I'm not giving advice, I'm just sharing information. Okay, so all the fields are in blue here. First field name is record descriptor word. Field 5 is identification number, which is required. Field 7, consumer account name, okay? That is required. Field 8 is portfolio type, and it is required. Field 9 is account type, that's required. Field 10 is date opened. Field 12 is highest credit or original loan amount. Field 13 is terms duration. 17A, account status, required. 18, payment history profile, that's a big one. 21, current balance. So these are, it's a short list, right? But once you get to digging down in that short list, you're gonna find like hundreds of different Metro 2 codes that go specifically under these specific field types. So I'm gonna give you a quick look at the fields that are under account status, which is Metro 2 field code 17A. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, now this is just all the codes that are under BAS segment character field 17A, which is account status, okay? This is a lot, right? So Metro 2 description code is AS here. The position in the file is 124 through 125. Okay, so Metro 2 codes that are under the required field 17A account status. So field code 5 is account transfer to another office, because you get that a lot, especially with charged off accounts. They'll transfer, or they say sold or transferred, or sometimes like you'll know that it's sold because a collection agency called you, but it's not reporting that it has been sold or transferred on your credit bureau. That's a discrepancy that you can dispute that you probably didn't even know you could dispute, because it doesn't say anything about it being transferred or sold on your credit report. But now you know that if it's not there, you can dispute that as a Metro 2 code violation, because it falls under field 17A. It is required. See, I told y'all I'm cooking, so just stay with me until I'm done. All right, so Metro 2 field 11, current account. So if they're reporting that the account is current, now if they're reporting that your account is current, you're not going to dispute that and say, hey, it's not current. Just saying, you won't do that. But just so you know, that's the field. Field 13, paid in full. 61, paid in full voluntary surrender. So if it is a voluntary surrender there, that's your code for that. Paid in full collection account or claim. Paid in full of 64, paid in full was a charge off. 71, 30 days late. 78, 60 days late. 80, 90 days late. 82, 120 days late. 83, 150 days late. 84, 180 days late. Now, if you're disputing late payments, this is where you're going to get some really good results at. So if you isolate your disputes, and what I mean by isolate is if you have 4 late payments reporting on one account, don't dispute all 4 on the same dispute letter. Make 4 dispute letters, right? It's not gonna hurt you. You'll be happy that you did it. Use the Metro 2 coding to dispute using all the fields that you can find that they are in violation of or that is missing. You understand? So do that. I don't care if you have to go back through your own payment records to find some discrepancies. They're gonna be there, trust me, on these payments. And you'll use, instead of saying, you're saying that I'm 30 days late on this, or 2 times 30 days late from January all the way till February, you know, and all that kind of stuff, you're just going to use the codes. You're not going to tell them, you're not going to say, I'm disputing this 130 day late. You're going to say you're disputing code 71 for January 2024, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to read all these codes to you. I just wanted to show you. 88, filed with government for insured portion on behalf of defaulted loan. Okay. If that happened in your situation and that's not on your credit report, then they're in violation. Okay, I don't know who would want that back on their credit report, but I'm just saying that's a violation, and something disputed, something like that could get you a deletion. I've seen it happen. Voluntary surrender, code 95. Unpaid balance reporting as lost by creditor, 97. Delete entire account from credit bureau. Ooh, that's a code that the creditor would send to the credit bureaus for deletion. That's what we want. Okay. And last but not least, DF, delete entire account due to confirmed fraud, fraudulent investigation complete. So that's another code that they would send over to the credit bureaus. So that is it. That's all I wanted to show you really quick. I have so much more to come with Metro 2, where I'm going to be breaking down everything from credit limit to history, payment history. I'm going to go back over that. I'm just really going to be really in depth and break down things. So most of my series is now moving forward for a while. They are probably going to be more so geared toward Metro 2, since everybody is interested in it. I just kind of want to flow with where the audience is going. So I hope this video helped you. I will be putting more and more just like simple things like what you see here on my website for free downloads for you guys to you can kind of use it as like footnotes in your disputing process. So if you want more Metro 2 stuff, comment in the comment section, ask specifically for something that you are specifically wanting. I'm very much happy to oblige. So I want to thank all of my subscribers. I really hope these videos are helping you all out here. And actually I see that they are, because I get calls and messages. So until the next video, bye.